basically we went from 40, 50,000 a month, because we were stuck at that number, to 250,000 a month in like 6, 7 months. 5 years ago, I had to, drive Ubers, and I had to go to McDonald's and I had to like double check my bank account and be like, not getting the breakfast today. And I literally remember telling Joel, every person that Jared has hired has been older than him. Like, I would literally get on a call and Jared is with a bunch of 25, 30, 45-year-olds that are working for him. I'm like, and this is when he's like 19. I'm like, how does this work? I think the person that talks about leadership the best in the space is Layla Hermosi. If you were the CEO, what would you change? Rich people sell high ticket, wealthy people sell low ticket.
Yo, what is going on, everybody? We got a good one for you today. We got the man, the myth, the hiring and recruiting legend, Mr. Omer Block with RemoteLatinos. I thought it was Latinos, but he corrected me. Formerly Fava. Omer has honestly been in my life since I pretty much got started in the agency space. And dude, I'm super excited to do this podcast.
I'm excited,
super dope.
Thank you for having me on.
Thank you for coming. I think a good place for people to start, for those of you guys that don't know Omer, I think it would be good to hear your story.
Absolutely. So I've been in the space going on 6 years now, which is crazy, since August 2018.
Which is like being an OG in the space.
Yeah, OG. I was driving Uber back in 2018, going to school, and just not really knowing what to do with life. I was probably your age. How old are you now? 22, right? I was 23, so driving Uber, working out, and school. Like, nothing else. And I get a call from Mr. Joel Kaplan and one of my best friends, Marcos Rosinger, and they were partners at the time. And they were looking for a salesperson. And at the time, their agency was doing about $30,000, $40,000 a month. They pitched me about coming to work with them because actually previously, a few months before, I went to visit them in Colorado, and that was like a few months before they called me. For some reason, I sold them on like me being a salesperson there, but I was just like, I'm in school, I'm working out. Like, that was my life. And it's funny because I rejected the offer. A lot of people don't know this. And I rejected the offer, and I was just like, I'm moving on with my life. And then Joel called me again. He was just like, dude, are you like, do you have mental issues? Like, why are you not, you hate what you're doing, you're wasting your time, everything about your situation is not good. What's the worst that can happen? He's like, you're gonna move here, it doesn't work out, you'll move back. So I was like, you know what, you're right. But the problem is I had no money. I had $100, $200 to my name. And I told him if I move, I need like some stability. And he's like, we'll pay for your rent, we'll pay for your food, take care of you, $2,000 check as soon as you come here. So August 12th, 2018, I got in my Toyota Corolla and drove from Atlanta to Boulder, Colorado. It was like a 23-hour trip. And they handed me the check and I started working. Like, literally, I got there Monday, like August 13 or 14 or whatever that date was. And I started working the second I got there. And I didn't know what the hell I was doing. Like, I don't think they knew what they were doing. I think they were lucky. Nobody else, there was no coaching space. Nobody was teaching them how to do anything. They were doing things that obviously they were getting results, but there was no sales process. I literally remember, people don't even know this, I used to watch Marcos, who was selling, and Joel was more on the marketing side. I would watch Marcos sell, and he would get on a Zoom call with people, and he would share his screen, and it's an onboarding form. So an onboarding form, and that's what he's sharing. And he's going question by question, and then the pitch was like, which option sounds better to you, this or this? And it was on the form. And I'm literally like, what am I selling? What is this? What am I doing? I don't know if this is gonna work out. Like, I'm already like questioning it, but I started cold calling when I got there. We were cold calling Kairos. A couple of them turned into started getting appointments. I think I got a couple of deals from the cold calling, and then they moved me to sales. But that took like 2-3 months. Like, I was pretty slow because I was still learning everything. At that point, I've only done sales for maybe 6 months at a dealership, and I got fired, and that was a whole different story. So didn't work out there. So I just had no confidence as a salesperson. Besides, I was working for Uber and I connected with people, and I just was struggled. And people know me as the person that struggled for 3, 4, or 5 months. I didn't bring any deals, and I got one deal, and then they basically put me on a PIP. And for those that are watching, like, PIP is a performance improvement plan. So people that are not doing good, you want to give them like a last chance to prove themselves. And that PIP came January 2019. And I remember they put me on a PIP. They said, hey, you have to close $6,000 that month. I remember, which is not that much. If your closer doesn't close $6K in a month, you should be worried. And that week I closed like $8K. The next week I closed $12K. And then we meet up with one of our mentors back then, Galen Dill, which people don't even know about. And remember, like, he gave us a ton of value. And went to Tedx, February 2019. I vividly remember this. And I met people, it's like super young, 24, 25, 26-year-olds. They're all making money. And I'm like, holy shit, this is so possible. And I always say, like, these events, like the hypey events, the Grant Cardone events, the Tony Robbins event, they're great if you meet the right people. If you go there, you shake the right hands, like anything can happen. Basically, we went from 40, 50,000 a month because we were stuck at that number to 250,000 a month in like 6-7 months. I made my first 6 figures. I made 200K in commissions in 2019, and just really took it from there. I've been closing high ticket sales from like as long as Temple. You just interviewed him recently, so which was really cool to see because I don't come from money. I'm an immigrant. My parents, my mom works an office job. My dad works in Uber. So to me, I'm like, I gotta break out with that. I gotta break out from what they have done in order to be able to take care of them. You gotta do the extraordinary to be extraordinary. That's the ultimate thing, right? So, yeah. And then around 2020, I started my company. I noticed that a lot of agency owners struggled with hiring talent. They were going to Upwork and Fiverr and online jobs instead of focusing on the agency and focusing on growth and how to actually provide value to their clients. And I was like, if I can solve the issue of connecting high-level talent with agency owners, something cool can happen. And we've been doing that now since November 2020. We've placed over 1,000 people, worked with hundreds of agency owners. Joel became a client, Eddie Malouf's a client, Ryan Pineda's a client. So been working pretty cool, man. And now we're just, the picture has never been more clear about what needs to happen in terms of going from where I am today to the next, several months and the rest of the year.
So let's backtrack a little bit, right? Because you didn't close the deal for 4 months. There's a lot of agency owners. I mean, I coach a bunch, and they'll tell me, "Oh, dude, I just brought on this closer, 2 weeks and nothing."
Right.
And they're like, "Should I fire him?"
Yeah.
What would be your advice to the person out there about giving someone a chance?
I love that question. I think it really boils down before the 2 weeks is like, how set up is the closer? Like, are they getting consistent appointments on a regular basis? Is the offer selling itself? How is fulfillment? How's the marketing? If a closer is coming in and doesn't have confidence in the company and what's being sold, it's over. And I'll give you an example. I sold my service for 2 years, and I brought on a closer this year. This was my first time being away from sales. This guy had a little bit of sales experience, very little, but I had to train him on everything from the intro to the demo, handling objections, and just everything. And this guy's Colombian, by the way, lived in the U.S. for a little bit, and he's on track to make 6 figures as a Colombian man, which is like literally wealthy here, which is insane. Closing, $50,000, $60,000, $70,000 in revenue like that. So but he came in, he knew I was already closing without you. I'm closing with or without you. We have a great offer. We have great fulfillment, great client results. Like, we know what we're doing. I just need to find someone that can learn. So my question to those agency owners is, did they sell before the person comes in? Because a lot of these agency owners, they're introverted. They have struggle in selling, but they're struggling for many reasons. Like, why are they struggling? Where is that coming from? Now, a lot of agency owners are not closers at all. So I get them not being able to close. But if you think a lot of the agency owners, this is the biggest issue. They think bringing on a closer is going to solve all their system and operational issues, because a closer needs to come into a well-nourished system. Again, appointments need to be there. Fulfillment needs to be there. There needs to be client results. Like, they need to come into something that's real. Or if that's not there, the closer you're hiring, he better get equity because he's helping you build a company. And they're not willing to do that. They're going to give 10%, maybe a little bit of a base in the beginning. So I think give them a chance if they're showing up. 2 weeks is definitely not long enough. I think a month is where you can see a lot of things. I care about a few things with a closer. One, are they showing up regularly? Like, showing up right there, like, there are closers that accept the job offer and they're gone the next day. So are they showing up? What's their attitude? Like, you're not closing. I want to see you be positive about you not closing. I don't want you to be on depressed coming into the calls. Are they coachable? Because that's super important to me. If you are showing up, you have the right attitude and you're coachable, I will make you a fucking savage, because I've done it with hundreds of agency owners. So these agency owners need to learn from people like yourself, from Brandon. I know you guys have a coaching program coming up about what it takes to actually make sure that it's not the closer's fault. And a lot of closers get put in a position where they are forced to close without having any help. I think that's where, things kind of slow down.
Interesting, man. So, okay, you went from closing, and you were one of probably Agency Lab's best closers, top closers at the time.
Yeah.
So, which is Joe Kaplan's company.
Yeah.
What was the thing that said, because I just did my podcast with Temple, and he's like, yeah, I'm just going to sell. I'm making more money than most business owners. What was the thing for you that was like, I'm going to go ahead, do my own thing, even though I'm making a ton of money?
Oh, yeah, I make more money then than I make now. Right? Because
Profit.
profit. It's literally not even close. But my vision is much bigger than money, because in order for me to do what I want to do, I cannot just sell. I love Temple to death. He's one of my closest friends, and I would, he knows I would say that to him too. At some point, you need to have your own thing, because selling, you get to a point with selling where it's like, I want to have my own thing, and he's building his own thing, right? So, it's funny because in February 2020, I talked to Jana, who you know as well, and she asked me. We were in Vegas at 10X again, which is hilarious. By the way, I don't go to 10X anymore, but I went twice and it was really good. She asked me, like, dude, it was so random. We were walking in Vegas. She's like, dude, so like, what do you want to do? Like, do you want to just sell? And this is pre-COVID, February 2020. I vividly remember. I was like, yeah, I'm making good money. I was making.
You were at 10X in 2020?
Yeah.
I was there too.
It was such a good event.
That's so crazy.
Yeah, that's wild. That's wild. Because that's before we met. Before we met, right? That was the Kevin Hart, Dana White, John Travolta.
Yeah. That was the only one I went to.
I went to the boxing fight
heck?
too. Yeah. It was crazy. It was a great event. And yeah, what a small world. But she asked me as we're walking through the casino, like, hey, what do you want to do? Like, do you want to just keep closing? And I'm like, yeah, I'm making 20, 30K a month. I'm doing fucking good. At the time, I was 25 years old, which is still like super young. And like, I didn't have this VA vision, this remote team members, whatever. And fast forward, literally 7-8 months later, I'm like, there's something here. And it's really funny because, again, bringing up Temple, he works for Cole Gordon. Cole Gordon at the time, this is 2020, this before he launched a lot of his companies, he had coaching. And I literally remember telling Joel, this is probably one of Joel's biggest mistakes, by the way. I love Joel to death. But I remember coming to Joel, I'm like, Joel, listen, there's an opportunity here where I will train closers and we will place them. I will find them, train them, and then we'll place them into agency owners. And he's like, dude, you're too new. He told me this. You're too new at high ticket. Stick to high ticket. Like, because I was just learning how to sell Agency Lab at the time, right? I was moving from the agency to selling high ticket. And I was like, bro, trust me, this is going to blow up. Like, someone's going to figure out how to place closers that are trained into agency owners. They'll sell it for 10, 15, 20K a pop. I remember telling him that, and him and Sergio rejected me. And I was just like, it is what it is. And then about a month later, I came up with my company, which we can get into later. But yeah, dude, I just think that you get to the point where you don't want to sell anymore. This was the first year I got burnt out from it. Like, it took me 6 years,
Wow.
And I love talking to people. I love connecting the dots. But I honestly got burnt out from it when I saw the success of my closer. I'm like, oh my God, he's literally closing better than me right now. Why the hell am I taking calls? Take all my calls. And the reason is because I see the entire picture, right? I see the fulfillment. I see the clients, how clients are doing. So sometimes I'm a little bit more hesitant about who I want to close. Yeah. He doesn't know. He's just, all his job is to close deals. So I'm like, this is exactly what you need to do. A CEO needs to remove himself from sales so the closer can focus on sales, and the CEO needs to focus, how do I make the product better? How do we move the needle? How do we get more affiliates? How do we systemize more things? And yeah, that's the point. It is. It's so funny. I was like, even working today, and I'm like, I think about this like quite frequently. Like, when I used to close, I just had to fucking worry about closing. Am I hitting my KPI? What does my calendar look like today, tomorrow? Who am I talking to? And then that's it. So if you're closing and if you're a closer, like, your life is so freaking easy. Jared and I have to worry about everything, every little thing that comes with the business, from the front end to the back end, everything in between. And at scale, now we're working on our brands and marketing. Like, dude, 3 or 4 years ago, we didn't need to do this bullshit.
No, not at all.
Like, running the business was already hard enough. Now we have to also do content and short form and long form and get subscribers and this and this and this. I'm like, dude, this is a whole nother ballgame. I look at Iman Gadzhi and I'm like, the reason I believe he's been able to blow up, again, timing is everything. He's, super hardworking, whatever, but it's because he gets to focus on this. That man does not work on the business at all, right? So for you to grow your YouTube like the way Matt has, bro, you can't work on the business too. No. And that's what I'm like noticing now. It's like, man, because when we talk on our podcast, like, the goal is to get to private equity. Yeah. And we need to get good at doing the little things at a high level. Because that's what the companies are bringing you on. They're not giving you 80, 90% of the company. They're giving you 10, 5, 15%. So that means that you're a minority owner. How can you maximize the minority share to maximize the profits of the company? So it's little things that they need to fix in order to blow up. And yeah, anyway, we're going on a tangent here.
Make sure you guys hit that like button and subscribe button as well. Yeah. Dude, I'm super curious. So you work with people like Ryan Panetta, Joel Kaplan, and a lot of other big names. Yeah. You're really good at networking. I'm assuming that's how you got a lot of these people.
Right.
But how are you so good at just knowing so many people, and especially high-level people?
Yeah. Good question. I think that a lot of people, they network and without intention. They just network to network. They don't know who they're networking with. and they network without an intention, where I'm at the level now where I'm noticing people like Ryan Pineda, for instance, this is a really good tip for a lot of people, is like, dude, they don't give a fuck about affiliate money. Like, cool. Like, he rejects probably millions of dollars from affiliates. He wants a piece of the pie. Like, in order for you to work with him at a high level, he wants a piece of the pie. Now, we don't have that with him yet, but we've had talks with him, right? Mm-hmm. We've had talks with the other big people in the space. And, like, cool, affiliate money is cool. They get a few $100, a few $1,000, cool. But, like, they want to figure out how they can really blow you up beyond, because at the end of the day, it's a what's in it for me business. They're not just blowing you up just for, oh, I want to make you feel good, and then, like, I don't really care. Like, they're not your family. They don't owe you anything. So first things first is that you need to know who you're networking with, right? Like, you're not asking Eddie or Ryan or Joel, like, their story unless you're doing podcasts with them. You should already know who you're talking to. Like, that's the first thing. Holy shit, it's Eddie Malouf. He has X amount of time available when I'm talking to him. What is a question? What can I think about that would register to him where, like, this guy's serious, right? Maybe it's a business question, maybe it's an opportunity. Show him that you care. I think one of the best ways to network is investing into masterminds. You've done the best job with this. You think Ryan Pineda we were on his radar? Fuck no, we paid him $50,000. He's like, hey guys, nice to meet you. And now we can play golf with him, and you can hang out with him, and it's cool.
Pay to play.
Pay to play, dude. Pay to play, especially with the big players. Like, there's no other way unless they find you through there's two really ways. You get recommended by them. Yeah. Like, if I'm like, yo, Jared, meet Ben. Like, he's one of my good friends. Or you pay. Outside of that, you're not gonna just see them on the street, whatever the case is, right? So I think that's something that people are always, like, very hesitant about. So I know a lot of your listeners are, gonna be thinking about joining the mastermind and the coaching program you guys have. The number one way to get Jared's attention is to pay him. DMing him, cold calling him, sending him gifts, like, all that stuff, it's cool, and he probably won't even notice a lot of it. You pay him, he's like, all right, this guy's serious. And the more you pay, the more he's gonna pay attention.
That's why Ben's here. Like, he gets to come on trips with me.
Right.
This is the, like, third trip he's come on with me.
Here's a great example. We paid Ryan Pineda $50,000. Most of these agencies can't even pay $10,000. Yeah. We paid $50,000 on the spot, like, wire, not double. Like, here's 50 grand. By the way, I've never seen that. I've never wired that much money. I was just like, holy mother hell. Like, that's like people's yearly salary. We just wired to this Filipino motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? I didn't know.
He's Filipino?
He's Filipino. People don't even know that. Yeah.
Wow. He looks like Mexican.
He looks Mexican plus Pineda.
Yeah, right?
But he's Filipino, which is hilarious. Crazy. First off, great guy, by the way. But secondly, immediately got into attention. But what really helped us is the podcast. I didn't know how powerful this podcast was. So when we did this podcast, we've already made our money back plus more. Wow. Just like that, overnight. I honestly have so here's what's funny. I'm super into selling, coaching programs. I always, like, if you want to do it, that's you. I don't want to do that. It's not my thing. I just want to focus on staffing. That's my passion. But I love coaching programs. They changed my life, and I know that a lot of people can get the help from it. And I think I heard this from Dan Martell or Hermosi, someone. They were talking about so many people invest, and they think just investing is going to do the job. Like, Jared, I paid you $10K. I'm not doing shit. And I did some of the stuff you said, but I didn't do all the stuff you said. But it's like, if you pay and you play, that's the key word. You say pay and play. If you pay and you play, bro, that's a game changer. So how I network with these guys, I pay a lot. I pay them. I've also, like, people like Eddie, Joel, I got lucky. I've known them for a long time. Yeah. And then, get recommended all the time. We have affiliates. Some of these guys care about affiliates. Some of them don't. But ultimately, it's like, a lot of people are listening to this. You don't even need to think about that, bro. Until you're at $100K a month, like, that's like, it'll help tremendously, 100%. Don't get me wrong. But, like, just do the little things. Just get client results. Just start getting client acquisition systems. Just hire a salesperson. Don't think about the Pinedas, because most people can't afford his podcast. His podcast is $25,000.
Yeah. Wow.
Unless you're Russell Brunson and, freaking Grant Cardone. But he doesn't know me, so 25 racks. Guarantee most people will not be willing to pay that, because his podcast is for an hour. And his podcast, if you watch his podcast, he's a genius. He literally brings people that he wants to learn from, and he asks you a question about how to people that he wants to learn from. I'm like,
and he's getting paid.
And he's getting paid at the same time. And then, like, we're putting him on social media and this and this and this. And then I sold, like, a couple tickets into his event too. So, like, it was such a good play for him, because, like, worst case scenario, he gets 50 racks. And then we've already made our money back. And now we're, communicative. Now we've had conversations. We have his number. Like, it's cool. Like, we, even had dinner with him and Tim Grover, which is insane. Like, literally, I picked a corner at the table. Literally, Ryan Pineda's wife, Ryan Pineda, Tim Grover.
Wow.
I'm literally sitting there. I'm like, what is life like right now? You know, because like 5 years ago, I had to, you know, drive Ubers, and I had to go to McDonald's and I had to like double check my bank account and be like, not getting the breakfast today. I'm gonna get a sweet tea and I'll survive on it. You know, like I've been broke, and I think when when you don't have money, you realize like the impact that money can make. So
something you did very well is, and Jesse Itzler says this. Jesse
Itzler, yeah.
Was Jesse at 2020 Tedx?
Yes.
Or was that 2019?
He was at ClickFunnels, but I've seen him live for sure.
Yeah. Well, nonetheless, I heard him say this at one event, and he was like, "If there's no room at the table, pull up a chair and make room."
Yes.
And that's what you did.
Yes.
That's freaking awesome. Dude, I love that. All right, so let's dive into recruiting, hiring, and all this stuff. You've worked with how many agencies and coaches? And
hundreds. Yeah.
How many people have you placed so far?
Over 1,000.
You've placed over 1,000 employees, and this is where I feel like, especially, there's a lot of kids in the space now. And I can't really be talking because
you're like the oldest guy there. Like
it's crazy.
Like,
it's insane.
It's wild.
But all in all, I get on a lot of calls with these people, and they're like, "Oh, my employees suck, and this person's an idiot." Like they're just they're using derogatory terms about certain team. Like it's ridiculous.
Totally.
Leadership is definitely lacking, and something that's not talked about enough. But I forget who it was. I want to say Rockefeller, or Carnegie, but someone like that said, one of the men who built America, essentially. He said, "Take away my factories and leave me my people, and my people will come back and build bigger and better factories. Take away my people and leave me my factories, and grass will grow on the factories floor." People are the most important thing. Fred Smith, founder of FedEx. My dad used to work at FedEx before he started his own business as funeral homes. And my dad used to always tell me this. I never understood it. And when he was running his business, when I was growing up in his business, I was young. I was like 7, 8 years old. I was trying to tell him how to run his business. Yeah. And he's like, people, service, profit. Take care of your people. And I didn't truly understand that until I came to the Mexico event with Sergio, and he gave his leadership talk. I was like, oh, shoot, that's what this means. This is how you lead a team. So I guess where I'm going with this, long story short, is where do people really mess up in terms of a leadership and hiring perspective?
So you might not like this answer.
Okay.
Because I believe that most of the people that are watching this video, they're trying to be business owners instead of going to work for an agency. I got so lucky. I got to work for one of the biggest names in the space. And then I got to work with Sergio, who's like one of my biggest mentors. And I got to see how they lead. So then I'm like, oh, I could do this. But if I wasn't them, I would have no idea how to do it. So many 17, 18, 19-year-olds are starting their business, which, by the way, is amazing, and it's hard. And props to you guys, because at 17, I was doing things that would ban me off the internet. So I give you guys much props, because it's like, it is hard. And I give you, again, it's praise. But like, when I get on a call, and it happens once or twice a month, because, you know, people from your network or Matt Shields, they'll find us. And they're 18, 19 years old, I am super skeptical. I'm coming into this, I'm blocking. I'm not coming into this as open, like, oh, I'm going to help this person out. I'm blocking them immediately. They need to sell me that they're ready on the leadership part. So the first thing is that they have never really had a job. Whether it's, I worked for Toyota dealership, I worked at Top Golf, then I worked for a marketing agency, then a coaching program. I had years of experience to learn under people for corporation, for startups. So I got the chance to learn. Do you need years? No, but I think it helps. So a lot of you people that are watching, dude, if I'm 17, 18, I'm not building a business, I'm going to go work for Jared. I'm going to go work for Ben. I'm going to go work for people that have things that much more established, because they have to learn the hard way. I would have told them this, and they would have hated me, and they'd be like, dude, what the fuck? I don't want to go work, because you guys have made it this far. But you guys are like the anomaly. This is not common, right? You and I mean, even Matt's super young too. I mean, when I met Matt, he was 19 years old, and seeing you guys run like multi-million-dollar businesses, it's incredible. It's amazing. But if I'm a 19-year-old, I'd rather go work for you guys to learn how you guys operate and learn a specific skill set. But let's say you're like, F a job, I don't want to do this, I can lead. Well, then you got to learn from people who have led, right? So next play is, you don't want to work for them, pay them. Pay people that have actually built teams internationally. Every person that Jared has hired has been older than him. Like, I would literally get on a call, and Jared is with a bunch of 25, 30, 45-year-olds that are working for him. I'm like, and this is when he's like 19. I'm like, how is this work? And they're crushing it. I'm like, how is this possible? You have to obviously, first off, hire the right people. But there are some people that are born with like a leadership like vessel in their heart. And it's hard to be like, yeah, if you're not born with it, you don't have it. Because I believe you can learn leadership, right? You have John C. Maxwell, you have Ed Milet, you have all these podcasters. I mean, Alex Hormozy. And I think the person that talks about leadership the best in the space is Layla Hormozy. Number one. Her videos on leadership are incredible.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you know this, but on school, they uploaded every single video from Alex and Layla, and they've categorized it now. I get goosebumps. Wow. It's literally, you sign up to school, you join their school community, and they have every single video they've ever posted online, which is hundreds of videos, customized. So you want to go to leadership, she has 20 videos on leadership right there and then. So instead of looking it up, you just go to school, it's right there and then. So you learn from people that have the leadership, but also you need to when you're 19, 20, 21, 22 years old, even for Jared, when he hires people that are significantly older, if you're 26, 27, even me, if I was to work for Jared, I'm a little older, 29. But if I'm 40 and I'm working for you, like it is a dynamic that you have to, whether you're a woman or men, you have to be daddy or mommy. Like they have to look at you like this guy runs this ship and it goes by him. And I think it just takes confidence. I think it takes time to build like leadership. I'm still learning, man. I'm still not perfect. Sometimes I'll slip up. Like one of the things that I mess up on is sometimes giving people raise way too quick. I'm like, this person's crushing it. I'm like, raise.
You're like, right? Matt.
Dude, I do that. I'm so bad at it as someone gets mad at me. So I have a business partner. He always gets mad at me. But something I'm really good at is being able to empathize with people and I have connected with my team members like crazy. They open up to me. The reports they send me are so detailed about their day-to-day in their life and everything they want to do and what they want to accomplish. So I know for a fact I'm a good leader. And of course, I'm not perfect, but I got to learn from people. So you don't want to get a job? Cool. Pay and then go watch videos and then understand what is it like to be a good leader. And honestly, another tool would be ChatGPT. Look at yourself. What type of leadership, if you were to work for Jared, what type of leader would you want him to be? How many hours of training would you want from him? Ask ChatGPT, like literally create a plan with AI, and you can it will literally give you the exact step-by-step of how to become the leader you need to be, and then it's up to you to actually make it happen.
Dude, that's super interesting. So, all right, you've placed over 1,000 people. You probably, if you place 1,000 people, you probably have done at least 10,000 interviews, I'm assuming. Right?
Much more. We have like 35, 40,000 candidates.
30,000, 40,000 candidates. That's insane. Yeah. 30 to 40,000 interviews. What are you guys looking for? And I know it depends on the position in the company, but what are the main things in kind of your guys' hiring process?
Yeah. I think the biggest thing, man, is attitude. Like take away the English, take away the computer speed and internet, all that stuff, right? It's attitude. How's this person showing up? Yeah. Like I can literally read someone's energy. Do I need them to be, like I'm a bubbly person, you're a bubbly, you get on an interview, we're like, but like, I don't need you to be that. You're right. If it's a system person, what's your attitude as a system developer? If it's a salesperson, salesperson needs to be charismatic. I get on a sales interview and this guy's just like monotone, da-da-da. I'm like, bro, I have to work on you so much. So there's no way. So attitude is the first thing I look for. The second thing I look for, obviously skill experience is super important, but I want to talk about like the more, the things that people don't think about. So attitude's one. Another thing is like their knowledge when they come into the call about what we do, because it's so interesting to us when they interview with us, they think that sometimes they interview with us, like literally my company, versus this is just part of the process. So I want to see like their intelligence outside of like what is being given to them. You know what I mean? Like I don't even know the word I'm looking for, but like almost like the common sense. Like common sense is not so common. You realize that very fast. And especially, keep in mind, like we only hire people outside of the US, majority in Latin America. We're hiring the Philippines, India, Pakistan. So like they're doing everything on a second language basis. And a lot of Americans don't understand that is hard. Like, first of all, most Americans only speak English. So I speak Hebrew pretty fluently, speak Russian very okay, Spanish like a 4-year-old. And I'm telling you right now, like doing an interview in Hebrew or even doing a sales call in Hebrew is difficult, man. Like I'm sitting there, I'm like, man, if I had to do this whole thing in Hebrew, I would have a hard time. Now, do I speak Hebrew every day? No, but like I still speak it. So we have to give props to people that are doing this in a second language, because I look for now in today's day and age, I don't look for people that are $4 or $5 VAs anymore. We're at the level where I don't want $20 people, because I'd rather hire, just like most people, US. But I want the 8, 9, 10. And you see the difference. It's like, holy shit, people are asking to get paid $1,600, $1,700, $1,800 a month. Man, it's such a big difference. And it's like a line, because, so I'd say attitude, man. How they show up to the call, their knowledge, and just like their want, their hunger, like what's going on. And this is one of the best things you'll hear on this interview is the best talent is not looking for a job. They're working. They're working for Jared. They're working for Ben. They're working for Temple. They're working for me. They're working.
Yeah.
How can you find those people? And one thing that we have mastered, like, and we're still mastering, is poaching. Like how you get someone from a really big corporation and really big company, because that is the key to success. Yeah. Every single there's two keys to success for business: is like the partnerships you have and the team members you have. Right? The partnerships, whether it's your actual partner, the affiliates, and people that are bringing you business, and like the team. But if all your team is off of Upwork, off of Online Jobs at PH, off of Facebook groups, you're doing something wrong. People that are elite are not looking for a job. The best sales closer right now is not looking for a job. No. They're working for Cole Gordon. Yeah. They're working for Matt Shield. They're working for Joel Kaplan. Yep. How can you find them? How can you snipe them? Because some of them are not happy. Some of them are extremely happy. I like to tell, this is my expectation when it comes to poaching. I'm like, if someone's extremely happy, they're in an incredible situation, leave them. For me to make you from extremely happy to happier, I have to give up crazy stuff. But I want to find the people that are in a good situation and either want to keep growing or in a good situation and are not getting paid enough. But they're doing good. They're content. That's what I want to find, because the content people I want to find. The people who are upset or pissed, they're already applying. I don't need to like work on them too much. But it's the people that are, I'm working, I'm content, I'm making good money, I'm making $1,500, $2,000, $3,000 a month, but I want to make more money. I'm working, but man, I want to lead. I want to have a team. Those are the people that I'm like, oh, well, there's an opportunity here. Let's talk about it. And now they're much more open. And then, we've done this like so many times now where it's like, our clients, we're high ticket, you're high ticket. And here's the best part about high ticket is that your service is expected to be better. Every person we know can charge $500. Yep. But what happens when you charge $500? The expectations are lower. So when people pay us more, they expect higher level talent. High level talent requires us to do more work to find the person. So it's an interesting psychology, man, and that's been really good for us as well. So yeah,
that's awesome, dude. So all right, you've obviously, like I said, placed a ton of people. From the biggest companies that you've worked with, what does their onboarding process look like to where they can actually retain the people that you're placing? Yeah. Because I'm sure there's a big difference between someone like Eddie's company and then the beginner agency owner.
Right. Well, first off, I noticed that bigger companies have 2 onboardings.
2?
2, not 1.
Okay.
One onboarding is specifically like team focused, like what's the company about, and then one role. About the position, the role. And I used to do one in both. Yeah. And now we're doing one specifically for the role. Like we just actually started this year, and I'm like, oh wow, all these companies are doing 2 onboardings. I think onboarding is good, but that doesn't determine your retention. It'll determine in the first month. Sure. But it doesn't determine it long term.
But it determines if that person will be successful in the position.
Right. And I think one of the most important things to cover on onboarding is obviously you want to cover core values. The KPIs and the KPIs can change, right? One day it's this, the next day it's this, then less ad spend. Okay, we're going to lower the KPI. That's interchangeable. Core values you have, they're established. We have like first week must-haves, first month. Like we create a lot of expectations for them and from us. But one of the biggest game changers have been like we create a short-term and a long-term roadmap. Like, here's what this role looks like in the next 3 to 6 months. As we sit right now, things can change. Here's what this role and what your position and what you could be in the next 6 to 18 months, for instance. And we show them this and we give them like a picture of, first off, people get excited about money. Like, how much money can they make? What type of bonuses and commission incentives do you guys have? And then you have to figure out, this is very important again, are you hiring a high performer or are you hiring a leader? Because a lot of people, again, I've messed up this all the time. I still learn from this. We take our high performers and we put them into leadership. And I literally just messed up with one of my CSMs because she was like, I didn't even really want a leadership position. She's younger, she's got shit going on. She was just my only CSM. I'm like, you're going to go in leadership because she's been performing so greatly, and I put her in that position. So ask yourself, do you have a high performer or do you have a leader? Because yes, leaders are high performers, but not all high performers are leaders. Yeah. Right? Yeah. So when you create this long-term roadmap, you want to sit there and think to yourself and ask them, this is an open conversation, do they want to lead? Some people have had managerial experience and like, dude, I don't want to. I do want promotions based on performance, but I don't want to lead. Or man, I would love to lead a sales team. I would love to lead appointment setting, cold calling, whatever, video editing, be a content creator. So find that out. And then one of the most important things to do is the communication you have on a daily, weekly basis, for sure. We have an end of week report where I see how the week is going, and all the leaders submit their reports and we review it, myself and the operation manager. But one of the biggest game changers, so outside of the end of week report, has been the end of month report. And that's where we get on a one-on-one with every single person, one-on-one. It's about 15, 20 questions, and we get to see, what do you love about the company? What do you not love about the company? What would you change?
Do you do that sometimes like anonymously too?
No, it's literally
You always
every single person. But I do it with, as a CEO, I do it with specific leaders.
Yeah.
My operations does it with the other leaders, and then other leaders do it with their department. So I don't do, we have 20 plus team members. I'm not doing that. But I will do it with like 5, 6 of the people that are directly reporting to me. And there's like specific questions on there that tell me exactly how their mindset on the company. And that's been such a game changer, bro, because I get to see like one of my questions would be like, if you were the CEO, what would you change? This is your company. What would you change? Man, honestly, I would get rid of this system. This system sucks. This person, honestly.
I love that question.
It's a really good question. Like questions like that make them think. You want your team, there's some questions that are a little bit more basic, right?
Sure.
Well, how was your KPI? How many sales did we do? Blah, blah, blah. But I want some questions that like make you think and sit there and be like, what would I change if I was a CEO? You know what? I would change X or I would change Y. And we get to talk about it because some things are impossible to change. And I will say, I'm sure you've dealt with this a lot, and a lot of your students and people that are watching this. The hardest part of our business is the fact that we're all remote. And there's a delay. There's always a little bit of delay. This is why do you think Eddie has an in-office team? I'm sure Eddie would much rather work with his wife next to him, and he holds a daughter, and she holds one of the daughters, and they work remote. But the best part about an office is that little things get solved a little bit quicker.
Yep.
Even if we walk into his office, I'm like noticing. I'm like, oh shit. You can literally walk from one department to Eddie's office to Terry to whoever it is, and then things get solved.
And they're all working. It's not like you know what they're doing.
Yes, and they love that.
Yep.
The thing is, I don't think it's necessary in today's age, but there's definitely a benefit to it.
Sure.
And we're remote Latinos. I'm all remote. We have remote Africans, remote Asians. We're going to remote world.
Yeah.
But there is a disadvantage of, man, sometimes you might not see a message. Sometimes things get missed out. So communication is just part of the day-to-day. And I tell people, like, yes, hitting KPIs is important. Being a culture fit is important. But if your communication sucks, you're fired. I've literally fired people that were performing, but their communication sucks. I literally just did that last week.
Wow.
This guy I gave him multiple chances. This guy was doing everything good. Communication sucked. And I'm like, bro, it drives me crazy because I don't know what you're doing.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. Wolf, how are we on time? Good. What time is it?
It is 5:19.
5:19. All right.
30? We're 30?
Yeah.
5:19.
Oh, okay. No, I thought.
5:20.
Okay.
All right, we're gonna get ready to wrap it up. I didn't ask you about no, I didn't. All right. Awesome, man. So that's super insightful. What's next? What's next for Remote Latinos? What's next for Omer?
Yes. He keeps wanting to say RemoteLatinos so badly because we're in Medellin, Colombia, and he's been surrounded by females. And he's like, Latinas, so it's hard for you to say it. It's hilarious. But what's next is we're building a SaaS company right now.
Wow.
We want to create a marketplace for people to find people without us being involved on a day-to-day. So we basically have the high-ticket offer right now where you can come, you pay us, we'll do the work, and then pay someone. Or we want to build basically what online jobs that PH has done.
Yeah.
People don't realize. Do you know what online jobs that PH is worth?
I'm gonna take a wild guess and say a couple $100 million.
300,
Yeah.
almost 400,
Yeah.
$99 a month.
Wow.
They have
Insane.
millions of users.
Insane.
Nobody else is doing it in Latin America. If I said, Jared, where's the best place to hire Latinos? If you, without any company, where would you go? To hire Latinos without paying a company to do it.
Running ads.
Running ads. But that requires you to run ads, spend money, and get the leads instead of a platform that can boom right there and then take you
100%.
there.
That's genius.
Yeah, so we are literally creating it. We're about 85, 90% done. There's still we're hiring a CTO here, so we're going to be interviewing some people pretty soon.
Your company's about to blow.
Oh, we're about.
I mean,
to
you guys
take
are
off.
ready.
Yeah, but we're about to take off, bro. This is
I'm
this
so happy
company.
for you.
This SaaS is what retires mom. Because the company I'm running now I'm set. I'm good. We're good. My team's taken care of. All my team members are making more money than they've ever made in their life. My closers are fucking rich. It's cool to see. But this is not retirement money. I'm not set for this. Even if we exit. So the SaaS is we can sell this. And that's what got a lot of people's attention because I'd love to build it how High Level built it. Whatever High Level did would be through affiliates. High Level still doesn't run marketing.
Oh.
They're $1 billion company. $1.2 billion. we were
40% recurring every
40% recording, and they started in 2018, bro. Like they started when I first got. I remember like them launching, and they were so bad their first 2 years.
Horrible.
One of the worst. You would lose clients if you have it.
Yep, probably.
Like no, I literally lost clients. I was in the desert in Israel, and I got a client from. Yo, you guys are calling and texting patients at 4 a.m. This guy got mad and he exited. And literally, I came back in the 2 weeks I was there, and we lost like, I'm not kidding, like 15, 20K in rev.
Wow.
Easily. Sucked. I hated them. But now they're the best. Like if you don't have high level as an agency, I'm like, where are you? What are you doing?
Yeah.
Unless you're at like $5 million. I think up to 5, perfect.
Yeah.
After 5, I don't know if it's perfect. That's, depends on your agency. So SaaS is the future. I've always wanted to get into SaaS. I've been saying this forever. Whoever can figure out how to build a high ticket with a low ticket offer wins. Because rich people
100%.
Sell high ticket, wealthy people sell low ticket. And when I learned that, that got into my mind, I started thinking, Amazon's low ticket, buying books, buying bullshit. Walmart, low ticket. Even Teslas compared to other cars, that's low ticket. Yeah. Like, yeah, the highest Teslas, but you can be a regular person driving a Tesla, right? Drake selling concert tickets. Music. Yeah. It's literally, look at every wealthy person, it's all low ticket.
No one thinks about the volume. I was reading a book, Made in America. I recommend it if you guys are listening, by Sam Walton. It's his biography.
Walmart.
Walmart founder. And he told me, well, he didn't tell me, but in the book, there was something about his pricing model and how he was pretty much the Amazon of the 1900s, essentially.
Yeah.
And it was just like, if we realized that if we price things at a discount, we'd eventually actually just make more money because we're going to get more volume as a result.
Literally 100%. And I will tell you one thing, and I don't know if it's undisclosed business, but I remember in 2020 when I was working for Joel, we were struggling with getting appointments, and I was getting sales through my organic, that's what really took me off, and I would say, because that's when I realized I was like, oh, I can build something with or without Joel. Yeah. Obviously, a lot of it came from him, but as soon as he launched a low ticket offer, where it was like low ticket course and $37 and $97, dude, I remember seeing the amount of points we were getting, and we were over delivering on the low ticket. Yeah. I mean, look at Hans Ramosi. This guy's a fucking genius, right? They don't run ads for acquisition.com. No. You know what they're running ads for? School. Get in, $99 a month, start your community, and then boom, school games, and then you get to come meet me. That's all he's pushing right now is school games. And I'm like, low ticket. That is, if you want to make a difference, if you want to get rich and make a difference for yourself and your family, you can do it from high ticket. You want to make an impact in the world and change the world and feed thousands of kids in Colombia, give back to charities, fight causes, get into politics, it has to be low ticket. We talked about politics on my podcast, right? You can't sell high ticket forever, right? It's gonna get to a point where you have to. How do you sell high ticket to the hood?
Yeah, 100%.
You can't. How do you sell high ticket to a redneck motherfucker in a trailer park? You can't. But they'll go to Walmart, right? So you have to think, how do we make an impact from low ticket beyond anything? And that's always been my model. Obviously, with what we do and how much value you provide and what you guys do with coaching, you can't sell that for $97, right? But what can you create that's low ticket, whether it's a course, whether it's a community, something along the lines where they feel like, because they have to feel like they pay $99, they're getting their money's worth. Yep. And once someone pays you $99 a month, once they get value, it's over. They'll start getting you testimonials, referrals. I always say the perfect client, Jared, the perfect client. If you don't get this on a regular basis, then you got to ask yourself what you're doing wrong. This is the perfect client. One, they love the sales call was super easy. They close on the call or within one follow-up. I think a lot of people get pitched all the time. It takes maybe one or two follow-ups. Two, they get the service delivered within the first 30 days. They feel like they got their money's worth in the first 30 days, especially in high ticket. 3, they give you a testimonial. 4, they come back and buy more. And then 5, they send you referrals. And if you don't have someone doing this on a regular basis, these 5, they give you testimonials, they send you affiliates, they buy more, and they were easy, then you're doing something wrong. Yeah. Is every 100% of your clients going to do that? Absolutely not. No fucking chance. But if you never get recommendations, nobody ever recommends other investors, agents, agency owners, whatever, then it's like, man. And honestly, that's where the companies I used to sell for, we started suffering with referrals. I was like, why are we not getting referrals? We would have to run all these crazy affiliate, and I'm like, I feel like we're doing something wrong. We're doing something wrong in the back end, and I don't know what it is. I didn't know at the time I was running the business. But now that I see it, I'm like, if you deliver a good service and you step in and dude, whenever someone has an issue that my team cannot resolve, I'll message them. I'll personally reach out to them. The amount of business owners that have my number People think that me giving away my number, they're like, dude, you get bombarded all the time. I'm like, bro, I'm not even kidding. I probably get texted maybe once a week. Because they know I'm a business owner. They know they're a business owner. I've got my life. So I give my number to everyone. I learned this from an investor friend. I think Ben knows him. By the way, Ben's here. So we keep referencing him. He's literally sitting right here. But Ben and I know this gentleman. His name is Nicholas Nick, right? One of the best and the realest people in the investor space. And he said this. He's like, my number is everywhere. Yeah, I'm like, yo, because we want to affiliate with him. He's like, yo, what's your affiliate? Like, dude, just give him my number here. I'm like, why? He's like, dude, because most people, number one, don't call. They don't text even if they have my number. And two, the connection that I build with them, it's game over. They come back and buy more. They send me referrals, da-da-da. So it's like little things like that nobody else does. And I'm like, interesting. I don't know what the question was. I just got on tangent.
No, dude, I love it. I love it. Everything that you said. And I love what you said about the low ticket stuff too. Because I'm making the new course and it's like, we're teaching momentum. And I was like, part of me, I was making a slide about what do you price your services. And when I started off in the agency space, I literally closed clients for like $97, $197, giving them high level lead gen, everything, just to build momentum. And everyone would say I was crazy, right? But at the end of the day, that momentum is going to help you scale.
100%.
It's going to help you scale.
100%.
And the sales resistance is significantly lower. So I love what you said. I think a lot of agencies can apply that. Like even a state AI, like relatively speaking, for the value we provided, I would say it was low ticket.
Yeah, because you guys paid for
it's
it.
like
It was
$900 a month.
Yeah. That's crazy.
But it was paid in full because they paid for a long period of time. But they got coaching, lead gen, like a ton of stuff.
Friends that I think, I don't know if you know them, but their name is, they're two of my closest friends, Nico and Dima, and they run an agency for Cairo. And they're doing about 6 figures a month now, which is pretty awesome. And what their model is literally selling low ticket to now. Not everybody's super low ticket, but they still today 2 years, 3 years. They've been in the game for a long time now. Dude, they sell everybody from like $500, $800, and then some of them sell. Dude, and the thing is, because the clients don't have insane expectations going into it. A lot of their fulfillment is copy and paste. They love them. Their attention is probably better than anyone's I've seen in the space.
And then they upsell them.
And then they upsell them, and then they want to do Google. You want to do, and dude, it's like I don't know what your program is like, and I don't know what you guys are sell, but I hope that you guys teach people to start selling at a low offer, because a lot of the people that you're going to be coaching, they have no sales experience. And you need to get wins. If you go 3 months as a business owner not getting a win, you're going to go crazy. Like you're going to be like, I don't know if this is my thing.
The space has been like just bombarded though. Like, I take it, raise your prices, raise your prices. Literally, I remember having at least 3 different conversations with Matt. Like, how can we lower our prices? And then get people in for a lot lower, because we know that our LTV is going to make up for it in the long term.
100%. And there's other things that you can sell high ticket with, and that's up to you to figure out. But it's not about increasing your price. It's lifetime value, number one, especially in the agency space, and then profits.
But you know why people don't want to do the low tickets? Because they know they can't retain. They don't have a good product. Like you said, focus on the product. But if you have a good product, you can get them in for low, retain them. Dude, super fire. Thank you so much for coming on. I do have one last question for you though.
Yes.
Let's say you're on the top of the mountain, and this mountain, let's say it's life, right? There's people on the bottom. There's a tsunami coming. Everyone's about to get wiped out. What would be your advice on how they can get from the bottom of the mountain to the very top?
They're at the bottom of the tsunami. Tsunami's coming. They need to get in order to survive, they need to get up.
Yeah, there's like a flood coming.
The silly answer would be to surf and get on the wave and get the fuck up. But that's not realistic. The real answer, I've never been asked this question. It's so interesting. The answer would be, is this a trick question?
No.
Is this just anybody? Because I don't know if you're like, oh, actually.
I got this question 3 years ago on a podcast with Glenn Lundy, big car dealership guy, Grant Cardone friend. And like, it blew my mind the way he broke it down.
What he answered. Okay, so surf is this silly question, but my actual answer would be, how much time do I have?
To answer?
No, how much time do I have to go? So like the tsunami's coming, how much time do I have to get up?
Let's say you have a whole day.
You have a whole day?
There's a flood coming.
And I have nowhere to go. It's because I can break it down so many different ways. I would say find the nearest airport and get the fuck out of that tsunami place, or you know.
But they have to get to the mountain. They have to get to the top of the mountain.
Okay, what about get to the airport and get a helicopter and get to the top?
I love it. I love it, dude.
I'm just like trying to think of like the fastest way, but you have a whole day.
You have to become creative, and
Yeah.
I think that's a great way to look at life and business is what's the path of least resistance. That's a
Yeah.
simple approach, way
Yes.
easier than the approach I did
Yes.
when I gave I
Yeah.
gave my answer.
Yeah.
So I love it, dude.
I will tell you another one is to break that answer one more is if you should be the person that's aware that it's coming ahead of time. So if you know, everybody else knows that it's coming in a day, I should know that it's coming in 2 weeks. So I would already start backpacking before anybody else, if anything.
Wow.
So be proactive. That's actually our first core value is proactive. But I also want to give one more tip of advice, which has nothing to do with this.
Okay.
A lot of your agency people that are watching this, students, they're probably young. I think that if I was not to go work for someone, because again, that is my first thing, go work for Jared, go work for someone that's looking to hire. However, if you're like, F a job, I see Iman Ghazi, I see Joel, I see all these people, they're making money, they don't talk about getting a job, whatever. Don't listen to me. You want to go start an agency, partner. Find someone that you can be 50-50 with, where you still are working a job, because in the beginning of the agency, you are working a job.
Sure.
Just like I
100%.
would say to people, it's hilarious, because all of us here in the room are virtual assistants,
Yeah.
but we don't see that. Because
Yeah.
we're like, I'm not a VA. I'm like,
Yeah.
yeah, you serve people, you service people virtually. You're a virtual assistant. Shut up.
Yeah.
But partner with someone that has the complete opposite skill set as you, that person can focus on the back end and systems and marketing, because that is one thing. And then you focus on sales, client acquisitions, training the team, leadership, things like that. That's what I would do. I mean, I built a business the first year and a half, 2 years without my partner, and the last 2 years with my partner. And yet we butt heads all the time.
Yeah.
And sometimes I want to strangle him, and sometimes he
It's
wants
like
to
a
strangle me.
marriage.
It is like a marriage, and I'll tell you what, it's funny because I have a girlfriend now, first girlfriend I've ever had, like longest relationship I've ever had.
Yep.
And I'm dealing with both of them, differently.
Yep.
And I'm like sitting there, I'm like, this is so funny how
So similar.
it's so similar, because you and Temple talked a little bit about dating, which has a lot to do with business. But dating is like, I don't know most people that I look up to and people that I'm friends with, they don't want to always date. So maybe you're in a dating stage, that's fine. Do your thing, especially if you're young, especially even if you're old, that's fine. But I think most people do want to settle down.
Yeah.
So what I noticed is the reason I had trouble settling down is because I was always going on dates. And I meet girls and it would piss me off, and I would never put up with them. And then but now with this girl, I really like her. I'm like falling in love with this girl. But there's certain things that I do that she doesn't like, certain things she does I don't love, whatever. And it's the same thing with Esteban. But the majority, like the majority of the pie is good. It's positive. We're profitable. We think alike. We have the same core values.
Yeah.
We want to make a change. So the last tip is for anybody watching, find someone in the community, in Jared's group, Matt's group, wherever, that has the opposite skill set as you. Partner up with them so you can focus on learning the one skill that you need in order to scale.
Dude, I love it. Thank you so much.
You're the man.
Appreciate you.
You're the man.
Yo. I hope you guys enjoyed that video. If you liked it, make sure you smash that like button, hit the subscribe button, and turn on bell notifications so I can see you in the next one. And last but not least, make sure you guys check out one of these fire videos that the YouTube algorithm just hand selected for you. And guys, if you want to work with me on a one-on-one basis so I can help you scale your agency and take it to new heights like I've done in the past, because I've built 2 7-figure marketing agencies before I could legally drink, go ahead, click down below, fill out an application, and I'll see you guys soon. Peace.